I appreciate that. Anyways, I guess we could probably pick up where I left off then. That uh man, I've lost my train of thought now. That sucks really bad. Anyways, back to where was the tweet that I was at? This guy right here, right? This guy thinks he's going to stop all of these protesters right here with his, I don't even know what kind of shoes those are, and this little pistol with like 12 rounds. But what's even funnier about this is when you go through all the comments and you look at, I think I retweeted this picture and I was like, oh, look, it's Caitlyn thinking about how many black people she can shoot. And then look at all this. This is ridiculous. It's a bunch of white people posting pictures of the guns. Who is he? I have no idea who that guy is at all. But this guy, Central Fleckus, retweeted him as if like he's gonna stop the invasion of Antifa, the imaginary boogeyman of the right now. It's just dumb. But as I said, like when you go through here, all these people posting pictures with their guns are white. You don't see no black people posting this shit, right? This is a white guy. This is a white guy with his Xbox controller, right? I mean, it's crazy. Oh, look at this. Got my white jean, my skirt on. Look at this. I got to take a picture with my gun near my, private parts, right? Because that's emasculating. Here goes a white woman, right? With her, I think that's like a vape pen, right? I don't see any black people posting, oh, this guy's so cool. Oh, look at this guy. Here's about $40,000 worth. There's a grenade right here. This is ridiculous. Oh yeah, here we go. This guy's got two pistols. Two pistols, let me tell you. Oh, I need to fix my chat box. It's like a little weird. Still setting things up on here. And trying to get things. Oh, it won't let me pull it out anymore. Oh well. But now it's just going to be like a bunch of white guys jacking off to all their guns and their collections. Like, what the fuck is this, man? What are you getting ready for? Civil War? Seriously? Like, here goes another white person. I mean, you can just scroll through this and it's nothing but white people. This guy right here looks like something straight out of Modern Warfare on the Russian side, right? He's fucking cool. Look at this guy. Oh my god. If this doesn't if that doesn't make you laugh because of how ridiculous he thinks he looks so fucking cool with that tactical vest. Oh my god, dude. This is America though, man. This is America. Here's some virtue signaling. Right here, I love when people do this because, like, America's just all about guns, right? That's the only thing America was built upon. I just want to kill black people. Look at this guy. He posts a picture of his private parts, man. Yeah, what are you gonna do with this? You're gonna maim like what? Maybe 5 or 10 people, and then that's. Oh my god, whatever. Stupid. Look at all these dudes in the background getting arrested. And like I said before, I got friends that were in. That's true, man. Another day in America where shit just. This is what's been underlying in the American psyche for a long time, right? Like, there's only so much you can push people who can't do anything in return. Like, when it comes to cops. They have ultimate authority, right? What do you think we should be doing then? I have an idea, but these people have like ultimate authority. For instance, if a cop were to come out and just shoot one of those guys right now, do you think any other cop would like arrest him or shoot him in public in retaliation? Probably not. They're like some of the only people that can just murder somebody in the middle of the street and not have like 30 squad cars swarm them with red dots on their chest. You know? It's sad that these people have to walk around with their hands up when they're just protesting. Which I know it's hands up, don't shoot, but it still has a meaning as well because they want to make sure that they're not going to get hurt. But the police are already creating distance in a line. They're shooting them. I know in Austin they were shooting rubber bullets at people. They were using tear gas. They were using all types of riot control, I guess you would say. I mean, what do you expect people to do when you have the absolute authority to videotape somebody that is undoubtedly hurting another human being and isn't stopping, right? No matter what George Floyd did, we have a country that should be built upon a justice system, right? And no matter what George Floyd did, he should at least have his day in court because I myself would want that same thing to happen to me. I would want my day in court at least because one, it's a constitutional right. And two, everybody should be subjected to the justice system. I know the justice system may not be perfect, but it is what we have for now. And right now, you're seeing the kind of like the social fabric of America slowly going away because we can't trust some of the systems we've built and put into place to dole out the things that we wanted them to, right? So if we wanted a justice system that deals out justice, but a lot of times it doesn't deal out justice or it's not fair. Like if you have more money, you can afford a good lawyer, so you probably won't get charged because you have more money. Or if you're a police officer, 9 times out of 10, nobody's going to rule against you because that's political suicide. Because in a lot of states, the judges are elected in. And if you throw the book at somebody in like a red state, you might not be reelected. And then, when you get up to like the Supreme Court and all of those higher judges that are appointed by the president and his administration, like even these positions are politically charged because if you want to be appointed to these positions, you have to play politics. And politics doesn't equal justice. It doesn't equal what should be doled out as an equal and opposite reaction to something, right? And they're right. These are their streets, and it's not the police streets. Like, we give police authority to make sure that our communities are safe, to protect our property, blah, 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 right? They are civil servants, and that's what it is. These people work, they pay their taxes, and I know people like Caitlin Bennett and some people on the right are probably like all these unemployed people, blah, 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 but those are just racist tropes that are like, that have evolved through time since back in The Birth of the Nation, which I covered a couple days ago, that movie. But they built these streets. Their tax money built these things. These workers, these laborers, all these people standing in the crowd built this city. They want to burn the shit down because it ain't working for them. Who more than the people that actually paid for it has the right to do that? Right? This guy, it has an Air Force PT jacket on. It's fucking funny. It's sad that we live in a day and age where our police officers are put in some really bad situations and they end up just making bad decisions over and over, right? You're right. Damaging stuff doesn't make it better. Uh, and I don't really particularly agree with it. Like, but at the same time, I'm not gonna blame or fault people oh, who don't have any other way to figure these things out. They just have a lot of frustration and they don't know what to do. And if you're not going to listen to them, like it's like a child. I have 3 kids. When I'm not paying attention to my child, they make the loudest noise in the room until I pay attention to them, right? That's kind of what these people are doing. If you're not going to listen to them, things are going to get destroyed. And I'm not saying that that's the best tactic or whatever, but at some point, like, what are you supposed to do to get people to listen to you? I mean, I did a whole video about why cops don't care about you. And in that video, I lay out the history of policing, right? And one of the things that I did learn about policing is where the police force came in America, right? Police used to just be night watchmen, and that was something that it was a punishment to be on. They usually had the drunks and the people who were being punished were the night watchmen, and all they had was like a stick and like a candle or whatever to guard the streets. It was a joke, really. But then sometime around, I think it was like the 1800s or something like that, private companies realized that they paid a lot of money for private security to guard their property down at the docks and at the ports, right? They had private security. And sometimes the private security wasn't that great, and sometimes their stuff got stolen. And what they realized is the business community realized is that if they could get the general population to pay for security, not only would they not have to pay for private security anymore, it would be offloaded onto the citizens and we would pay it through taxation. But a well and ordered society would increase business for these businesses because then people could trade and then people could earn money and blah, blah, blah. There would be a sense of normalcy and stuff like that. They knew this. And that was how the police force and policing came to America, came to its current state, is through this private company wanting to offload the cost of security and wanting to create a society in which there was safety so that they could make more money. It wasn't to protect the citizens. That's just how it was sold, right? But fast forward 100 or 200 years and now we no longer have community police. We no longer have peace officers. We have police officers that are almost indistinguishable from military. I was in the military. I'm a Purple Heart combat medic. I served in Iraq. And at the beginning of this video, I saw a Humvee and I thought it was the National Guard, and it wasn't the National Guard. And that's my bad. I forgot how the militarization of the police force has gotten. And it's sad. And I live in Texas where the governor just put out an executive order that the National Guard is gonna be deployed to help with controlling the protests and if it breaks out into riots and stuff or whatnot. But I don't know if you guys ever heard about the Peelian police or whatever. But I will tell you this. This is the birthplace of policing. Is this guy George Peel? I think his name it's Sir Robert Peel, right? He helped define an ethical police force. And I'm telling you, the rules he put in place they're immaculate, man. They're immaculate. 9 rules of policing to prevent crime and disorder as an alternative to their repression by military force and severity of legal punishment. To recognize always that the power of the police to fulfill their functions and duties is dependent on public approval of their existence, actions, and behavior, or their ability to secure and maintain public respect. Number 2 is literally what we're watching in the streets right now. Is a violation of number 2 of the Peelian principles of policing. This guy came up with the first police force in Britain in, what was it, like 1793 or something like that? 1822. And number 2 is literally what we're watching right now. These people do not trust the police. They don't approve of their existence right now. And this is only number 2. So to recognize always that To secure and maintain the respect and approval of the public means also securing of the willing cooperation of the public in the task of securing observance of laws. So basically, this is like a 50-50 that if we're going to help police you, then we also need you to cooperate with us so that policing will be better and it doesn't have to evolve into something like this. 3, to recognize always that the extent to which the cooperation of the public can be secured diminishes proportionately the necessity of the use of physical force and compulsion for achieving police objectives. Number 4, cooperation of the public can be secured, right? But it diminishes when the use of physical force and the compulsion of that this is literally what they're protesting. An innocent man died in the streets. He wrote a bad check. Who the fuck cares? He's basically an innocent man until proven guilty. But he died in the streets. And this is what they're talking about. This is 200 years ago when they came up with the ethical rules for policing. Number 5, to seek and preserve public favor, not by pandering to public opinion, but by constantly demonstrating absolutely impartial service to the law, in complete independence of policy and without regard to the justice or injustice of the substance of individual laws, by ready offering of individual service and friendship to all members of the public without regard to their wealth or social standing, by ready exercise of courtesy and friendly good humor, and by ready offering of individual sacrifice in protecting and preserving life. Another failure of the George Floyd. Dwarf, maybe. I hope that I hope that never is the outcome. I hope that their voices can be heard and that we make changes, though. But not by pandering to public opinion. So this might be considered public opinion. However, impartial service to the law. People in New York, they've got videos of cops forget to turn off their body cameras and they're planting drugs on people and they're planting evidence on people. These people don't care anymore about the police officers, right? Because they know they're just going to get charged anyway. To use physical force only when the exercise of persuasion, advice, and warning is found to be insufficient to obtain public cooperation to an extent necessary to secure observance of law or to restore order, and to use only the minimal degree of physical force which is necessary on any particular occasion for achieving the police objective. Basically, number 6 is to use only physical force as like the last means and to only use it the most minimal degree until cooperation has been confirmed. And then you stop, right? 7, to maintain at all times a relationship with the public that gives reality to the historic tradition that police are the public and that the public are the police, right? Does this look like the public and the police are the same thing right now? It doesn't. Look at the way they're dressed and look at the way the public's dressed. And that's important because Sir Robert Peel actually had some very tough rules for his police officers. The police being only members of the public who are paid to give full-time attention to duties which are incumbent on every citizen in the interest of community welfare and existence, right? Number 8, to recognize always the need for strict adherence to police executive functions and to refrain from even seeming to usurp the powers of the judiciary, of avenging individuals or the state, or of authoritatively judging guilt and punishing the guilty, right? The police officers are not supposed to be judges. They're not supposed to be executioners. This is what happened in many cases where the police officers killed somebody and then retroactively they go back and say, well, this guy was a known criminal. He did this 5 years ago. All they do is just try to attack their personal credibility, which has nothing to do with the death of the individual. To recognize always that the test of police efficiency is the absence of crime and disorder and not the visible evidence of police action in dealing with them, right? not the evidence of police action dealing with them. So basically, he really wanted policing by consent, and his ethics for a police force is not something you see in policing today at all. And this is why people are protesting. Seriously. And let's see here. The Peelian principles, Peelian police force rules. You should listen, you should see some of these rules that the police had to do. They were crazy. In order for you to be a police officer back then, what you had to do. Evolution of policing. No, I don't remember where it is, but they like couldn't they couldn't ever wear civilian clothes. I'm pretty sure when they were out in public, even off duty, they still had to wear their uniform, uh, or something like that. They couldn't. There were so many things they couldn't do to make sure that the trust between police and civilians were never ever questioned or brought into the frame. Uh, Sir Robert Peel, if I look him up. Uh, was it Robert Peel? No, it wasn't Robert Peel. It was yeah, it was Sir Robert Peel, but it was this one. Um the Factory Act, assassination attempt, statutes, literature, corn laws. Yeah, I don't remember where these things were, but I talk about it in my video and I have all the links in that video. I just don't want to bring it up right now. So what do you think justice for Gary Floyd looks like? Later career and death. Can't remember what Peelian police force were they all cheering. And the 9 principles of policing is really interesting, and we've fallen so far from these principles. Oh, the bobbies. I think that's what they were called. Robert Peel's bobbies. The Metropolitan Act. I forgot that their names were the bobbies. It's been a while since I've done any research or anything about that. How to be a bobby? Maybe that will give us what we're looking for. Hmm. Yo, did you hear that? She just said, don't protest like that, tearing up our city. Protest like you respect it. So those are protesters calling out people that are like destroying public property, right? So to say that like every one of the protesters are there just to destroy things is kind of disingenuous at this point because that's not what they're there for. Oh man. Can't believe I forgot that, but I know for a fact that they had some really, really interesting rules for being police officers. Let me see if I can find that video. And was it why the police don't care about you right here? This is it. No, this is how the history of policing for the United States. Nope. This is another thing for how police got there. I already clicked on that one. This might be a bad link, of course. Let me see. If you don't mind, I can play some of that because I think it's actually really important for this thing. Let's see. Even back then, they were afraid of police officers being a paramilitary arm of the government. Like you see that a lot in right wing ideology now. Yeah, here's the strict rules of what the original police officers had. Imagine if police had to do this now. They weren't allowed to vote in elections at all. They couldn't get married without the permission of the force, and they couldn't even dine with civilians. That is how strict it used to be for police officers. They had to wear their uniforms 24/7 so that the civilians didn't think they were undercover trying to snitch on them. We now have undercover agents everywhere, and sure, there's good reasons for that, but when this all started, they had to wear their uniforms all the time. So that was the history of policing in Britain and how Britain came to be. You imagine if they had those strict rules in place right now, it would be crazy, right? Crazy. But I mean, tonight looks like things are pretty chill for a lot of places in America. The the George Floyd thing is really bad, and people with the ACAB that all cops are bad and stuff like that. Like, if you don't agree with the actions of that police officer, there should be a public statement from every individual police officer stating that they think what happened was wrong, it was unjust, it was unlawful, that he should be charged with murder, and that he should be charged with whatever. And the three people or two cops around them that just watched should also be charged, right? Because that's a part of the justice. Now, I have been seeing a lot of things where uh a lot of officers have tried to intervene in things like that and they get fired and lose their pension, which is some really bad stuff. And if that's what's happening, then we can't trust the police to police themselves, which, I mean, it's already apparent that we can't do that. And this would be one of the things that we could do to help rectify the situation is more oversight of the police, more civilian boards, more civilian, say, federal investigations or whatnot. I want to go to my Twitter real quick because I shared a lot of really, really interesting things. Let's see here. Where is my profile? There it is. Tweets and replies. I thought this shit was funny. I live in Austin. I'm pretty sure this is in downtown Austin, it looks like. And this is their sign of peaceful protesting, hanging donuts in front of them. Look at this officer's face right here. He's like, I can't believe this. You know? Um, Look at this. This is so you want to see some racist shit right here? Makes sense since the rioters don't have jobs. This is an old racist trope that it might be just because so many people are unemployment and they think that maybe the only people that care are on unemployment, but that rioters don't have jobs because they're black, probably, right? Sells work clothes because black people don't work, which is, you know, that racist trope that the right still likes to share, which is why they don't like welfare, right? And then Tommy Lauren, the great Nazi herself as well, with the racist trope of the first window broken, the first match thrown, the first spray can picked up, that to steal and ravage, right? Because guess who also steals and ravages? Animals. And if you remember in the movie Birth of a Nation, they made a lot of references to how when the Northerners came to free the Southern towns, that the black soldiers were looting and pillaging and raping while they were doing it because they had no discipline and stuff like that. See if I can get the looting scene or what up. Yeah, here it is. Right in the Master's Hall. So the Master's Hall is the People's Hall, right? And this is how they think that black people act, right? And this is where this was made in like 1915, one of the first movies shown in the White House. Remember that. Uh And when you see a lot of these words, free pass to steal and ravage, that they don't work or whatever, they're maybe they're undisciplined or whatnot. This is where it comes from, back in 1915. So here is the Senate chamber or whatever, and these guys here are all black people. You're not allowed to wear your hat on the public floor, and they're just doing it. They're not respecting anything. These people are all blackface, right? They're all white people. They're eating chicken, they're having fun, they got their feet on the desk and everything, when they're drinking alcohol on the floor, which is not allowed. Like literally every racist trope you can hear the right talk about today, this is 1914, it hasn't changed much. Look at him, he's just got his feet on the table with his shoes off in the house. Like, no respect, right? That's what they're trying to say. No respect for anything, that they're just animals. This was like already a law, right? Or a rule for the house. Look at him just eating chicken like it's nothing. Look at this. This is like equality. How a lot of white people think equality is that, you know, they'll actually have to start being treated like they forced black people to be treated. No. But, looting and rioting. So when people say those two buzzwords, this is what I think about. It goes all the way back to the 1915s and before that. That so white people come in the gallery, they're up here, and they're just looking down at the people's house where they make law, and they're just like, look at all these uncivilized people. Oh my gosh. Oh, now blacks and whites can get married because that's such a bad thing, right? And now look, all these black men, because they're sexual predators, right? Are looking at the white women up here because here's some white women. And this guy's like, oh God, I got to protect my white women. And now we got to leave. And look at them. Look how they react to laws being passed in their favor. They act like animals with no respect or discipline. And the people's house was taken over by black people. Remember that. This is the people's house. And so now that they've taken over or whatever, now the black people are just going to come rape, pillage, and loot all the houses. This is a black northern soldier. He's actually a really important character in the movie, who's also blackface, if you didn't know. But yeah, that's where a lot of this language has come from, right? It's come from there. It's what it is. This is really interesting as well. So here's the target, and this is demonstrators telling him don't loot and break the target. This is video evidence that this is not what the protests are about or what they want them to be about right here. Video evidence. They're trying to protect a store from being broken, looted. See? Look at her. She's defending the store. Tell me that all of this is just about looting and rioting, and I'll call you a liar. This guy is really interesting too. This is a sheriff that gave a speech before, which was really good, and they were chanting "Walk with us," and he goes, "You know what? Fuck it, let's go. I'll walk with y'all." Right here, and he was basically saying like, we don't need to beat people. We need to remain peaceful with these people. But look at him. In the crowd, people touching him, and he's not getting angry. He's not getting angry at all. I remember one of my buddies shared a photo of a Marine with a detainee, and he was carrying him, but not in a wrong way. And basically, the caption was like, "This is a soldier who's tired and angry and fatigued, and he has an enemy, and he's not killing him. Why can't cops do this?" And I use that term enemy loosely, right? But if you wanted a reminder why people are so pissed off to cops, who remembers all this shit, man? Look at this guy. Oh, I'm just gonna fucking blast you to kingdom come, right? Not just a cop beating a woman in the street. Oh, look at this cop right here. And this is why I don't really frame the whole conversation with just race, right? It's police brutality in general is a problem. Look, this is a black officer beating the shit out of a minority, right? But look at him. Just fucking walloped him. Look, watch this cop right here. This guy is subdued, right? And here he comes. I'm going to kick you in the face for no reason. No reason, right? This is why this is happening. That, not just George Floyd. George Floyd needs justice, right? And right? But this stuff right here. I like how the music that they chose for this. This is good. Look at this. Just beating this woman. Yep, no, I'm just gonna run you over with my horse. Fuck it. This is a child. Remember this? She's like 15 years old or whatever. No, he's manhandling her, man. Trauma and abuse right there. What is this little 12-year-old gonna do to you? This shit is messed up too. Oh, I'm just gonna run into you. Look at this. This guy is so scared, right? He's got his hands up. He's so scared that he goes on the ground, and as he's being attacked by a dog, his hands are behind his back. Look at that. They're detaining this guy and he just starts beating the shit out of him, man. This is why people are in the streets. This right here. Look at this. I'm just gonna watch. I'm not gonna do anything. It's cool. Remember this? Rodney King, man. Rodney King. Not much has changed since this. All these white officers beating this black dude completely, like... This shit's sad, man. This shit's sad. Like, even watching that video still gives me emotions. Even as somebody who deployed overseas, seeing somebody with complete authority like that, with no blatant respect for human life, pisses me off still. Yeah, I just have no words for that stuff. No words. No words. It's just crazy. This shit was funny. That's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. But this is America right now. This is what we're doing. Oh, do y'all remember the Pepsi commercial, right? You remember when Pepsi had that commercial and it was like, oh shit, the only way to start the conversation is to offer them a Pepsi. This is golden. Actually, I'm going to retweet that. I didn't even see that till now. That is classic, right? Remember that shit? Look at all these people being arrested. I guess they're being arrested for being out past curfew or whatever, but it's fucking sad, man. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna call it an early stream. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks Dwarf for your comments and everything. Hopefully you catch me on the next stream. Even though I doubt 10 years from now this shit would ever be any different. But hopefully things come out of this. Good things come out of this. But thanks everybody. Y'all have a good night. And follow me on YouTube. I make videos. Follow me on Twitter. I'm mostly active on Twitter. And if you want to have a conversation, just let me know. All you gotta do is hit me up. You can join my stream. I'll talk to you on air. I don't care. This isn't about me. This is about us, right? This is about the human condition. This is about how we're gonna move forward and build a better society to where we don't have these underlying things in the social fabric of humanity, right? All right. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Bye.